Hello everyone, this is Madhavi Karamudi, Assistant Professor in CSC Department. In this session, I'll talk about anatomy of a JSP. In the last session, we have discussed about few JSP elements. The remaining JSP elements we will discuss in today's session. See, first of all, anatomy of a JSP page means internal structure of the JSP page. So what are the elements the JSP page contains? So basically, every JSP contains two types of elements. One is template text, other one is JSP elements. So if it is a JSP element, that means if you can place any code between JSP element tags, then that code we are considering it as a JSP element. So other than JSP element, if you can write anything, then that will be considered as template text. So what happens when you write the text as a template text and when you write a code as a JSP element is, whatever text you will write it as a, or you will write outside the JSP tags, that will be considered as template text, and that text will be directly sent to the client. So whatever text you will write between JSP elements, then the text will be sent to the server for processing. So in the last session, already we have discussed about scriptlet, JSP declarations, JSP expressions, and various types of JSP directives with example. So in this session, we'll concentrate on remaining two things like JSP action tags and JSP custom tags. Let us see what is a JSP action tag. So directives, in the last session, we have discussed about directives. Directives are just instructions given to the compiler. Here actions means JSP actions lets you to perform some action on the JSP page. Okay, whatever things you can do with JSP action tags, same thing we can also do with the help of include directive. But there is a difference between include directive and action tags. So directives are generally used during translation phase, while action tags are used during the request processing phase. Okay, unlike directives, these action tags are re-evaluated each time the page is accessed. Now see first action tag, that is first predefined tag available in JSP. First one is JSP include tag. So here all the tags in JSP are prefixed with some prefix. So if it is a action tag, every tag is written with the prefix called as JSP. Suppose if you want to create your own tag, then you have to select your own name as a prefix. Okay, so here like include page directive, this action include action tag also used to insert a JSP page, your current JSP file into the another JSP file. Let us see the syntax of include action tag. So JSP colon include, this is the include tag, then page equal to which page you want to insert, which JSP page you want to insert, that page address you have to pass it here. Okay, then flush equal to true or false. So here, if you supply flush value as true, that indicates that after forwarding or after inserting your JSP file, automatically your buffer will be flushed. Suppose if you specify flush equal to false, then directly that included content will be posted to the server or JSP writer without storing it into the buffer. So the default value for flush attribute is false. Now see the next, see one example for using this action tag. See the example. Here this is my JSP file. In this JSP file, here I am using include tag. JSP colon include page equal to sample.jsp. So in this case, automatically my here the specified sample.page will be included to your JSP page. So here I am setting flush value as false. Here this statement is optional. If you want to set the buffer on, then you have to specify the flush value, otherwise no need to specify it, right? See the second important action tag, that is JSP forward tag. Okay, so this forward tag is used for redirecting the request to some other page. Okay, when this action is encountered on the JSP page, automatically the control stops the execution of that particular page, and it gets, that control transferred to the page that is mentioned in this action tag. Okay. Okay. So this forward tag is used for redirecting the request. So here, see the syntax of forward tag, JSP colon forward, page equal to URL of the another resource file. So it may be a static file, or it may be a servlet file, or it may be any JSP file. So whenever you specify the URL here, automatically the current page process will be stopped there itself. Then it will forward the request to the specified URL. Once that the specified file execution is over, again it will come back to the previous page. Okay, this is about JSP forward tag. Now see one demo on this, one example on this. So here, inside the body section, here I am using, if you observe last third statement, so here I am including forward tag, JSP colon forward, page equal to second.jsp. So what is the meaning of the second.jsp is, just assume that we are in first.jsp file, right? Now, in your program, you have specified JSP colon forward page equal to second.jsp. Whenever the JSP compiler identifies the statement, automatically it stops the execution of one.jsp file and it redirects your request to the second.jsp page. After execution of second.jsp page, it will come back to the one.jsp. That means whatever content it has executed in second.jsp, that content will be attached to your file. Okay, so in servlet, same thing will be achieved. So here we have a JSP action tag and include tag and JSP forward tags for including file contents and for forwarding your content to the next page. Okay, but in the servlet, same action will be done with the help of request dispatcher interface methods. In request dispatcher interface, there also we have two methods, include and forward method. So in servlets, include method of request dispatcher is equal to JSP include tag, and forward method of request dispatcher is equal to JSP forward action tag. Okay, this is about JSP forward tag. Next, see the third one, JSP param tag. Okay, so when this param action tag is useful for us is, whenever you want to pass some parameters to other JSP files, okay, then we need to use this param tag. Okay, so here if you see the syntax of JSP param tag, JSP colon param, name equal to name of the parameter, value equal to value of the parameter. Okay, so how we can pass the parameters to the servlets using a web.xml file or using HTML page. Similarly, if you want to pass the parameters to some of the JSP pages, then we need to use JSP param tag. Okay, so in JSP param tag, we need to specify to whom you are passing. That parameter name and parameter value we need to supply. See the next element. This is very, very important action tag. So mainly this action tag is used for used in the Java beans. Okay, if you want to connect your Java bean program to your JSP, then we'll use this use bean action tag. So this action tag is useful when you want to use Java beans in your JSP page. Through this tag, you can easily invoke the bean. Okay, so first of all, what is a bean means? It is a simple Java program. Suppose if you want to use particular Java function in multiple JSP pages, instead of writing that function in every JSP page, what we need to do is you just write that function in one Java file, save it .jsp extension, .java extension, just to create it as a bean class, then use that class in all the JSP pages wherever you want. Okay, so for including your, we'll use this useBean tag. See here, this useBean, see the useBean tag. So useBean ID equal to unique name to identify the bean. So internally, every bean will be recognized with some ID. So at the time of writing the program itself, we will specify that ID. So that ID we need to write it here. And class, where you are storing your bean, where you are storing your bean class, with the package, that complete address you have to specify. Suppose if you are using beans in your JSP page, better write that bean program and JSP program, save your bean program and JSP program in the same folder itself. Okay, that is about useBean action tag. Let us see the second one, next one, JSP set property action tag. So by using this set property action tag, we can set the property of a bean. That means we can, if you want to set the name of the bean, and we can set the property of the value of the bean, then we can set it by using this set property action tag. So while using this action tag, you may need to specify the bean's name. Okay, see the example, JSP colon useBean ID equal to, what is the identification number of your bean, class equal to where you have stored your bean, including the package you have to pass it. Now next property is get property. So JSP colon get property action tag. So this property is used for retrieving the value of your beans that is set. Suppose if you want to retrieve the name of the bean, or suppose if you want to retrieve the value of the bean, then we need to use get property action tag. Okay, other than action tag, include action tag, forward action tag, useBean action tag, set property tag, get property action tag, we have lot of other action tags also, but frequently in most of the web applications we'll use only these 6 action tags. Like this, we have so many action tags like JSP colon plugin action tag, JSP colon body action tag, JSP colon scriptlet action tag, JSP colon element action tag, JSP colon text action tag, JSP colon attribute action tag. Like that, we have lot of action tags available in JSP. But mostly in all the JSP applications, we'll use only these 6 action tags. Okay, this is about the JSP action element. Now we'll come back to the JSP custom tags. So here, custom tags means user defined tags. So here the JavaSoft people has given flexibility to the users to create his own tags in the JSP. So user defined tags are known as a custom tags. So in this tutorial, I'll show you how to create the custom tag and how to use that custom tag in the JSP page. First of all, to create a custom tag, we need 3 things. One is tag handler class, tag TLD file. TLD means tag lib directory file, and the JSP page. Okay, so tag handler class. What is the meaning of this tag handler class is, in this class, we will specify what our custom tag will do when it is used in a JSP page. Suppose, just assume that if you want to create one action tag, okay, if you want to create one custom tag for displaying some message, right? So for that, I am creating the custom tag. So for displaying the message, how to create the, how to create the custom tag, and how that custom tag will perform its action. Okay, whenever it is invoked in the JSP page, that process we need to write inside one .java file. So that Java file, we are calling it as a tag handler class. Now see the second one is TLD file. So TLD file is just like a tag descriptor file. Okay, so here we will specify in this tag descriptor file, we will specify our tag name and our handler class tag name, tag handler class name, and tag attribute name. Okay, so what prefix you are using for your custom tag, and what is your custom tag name, and what content your custom tag is doing. That entire information we will specify inside this TLD file. Now see the JSP page. So this JSP page indicates that where we'll be using our custom tag. That JSP page is this JSP page. Okay. So whatever what tag you are creating, with which prefix you are creating the tag, okay, that will be specified in TLD file, right? And what action your tag is doing in the JSP page, that action we need to write in tag handler class. And in JSP page, simply we need to use our custom tag, whatever we have created, right? So see one example how to create all these things. See here, while writing the tag handler class means this is one Java file. So while writing this tag handler class, compulsory your tag handler class should implement either tag interface or iteration tag interface or body tag interface. Or it can also extend tag support class, body tag support class, or simple tag support class. Okay, if your class is not implementing these interfaces, or if your class is not extending these classes, then your class will not be considered as tag handler class. Okay, so all these classes that supports to create custom tags are present in this in this package javax dot. So whatever package that I have specified there, in that package that will be available. Now see one example program for creating custom tag. Okay, so what is the first step for creating the custom tag? First step is we need to create tag handler class, right? So here I am writing the tag handler class. I am saving my tag handler class with my tag.java, right? So here, first of all, I am creating one package. In that package, I am storing all these classes. Okay, so here import the package that are required for creating the tag custom tag. Import those packages. Okay, so here in our class we are implementing simple tag support class. Okay, so all these classes are available in this package. So import that package and import javax.servlet.jsp package also for getting the nature of JSP, for giving the nature of JSP to your page, and import one more package, IO package, for printing purpose. Okay, so here I am writing tag handler class. My tag handler class name is details. Okay, one second. Okay, here my tag handler class name is details. Here my class is extending from simple tag support class. Okay, so inside this I need to write one method, do tag. This method indicates that what action you want to perform whenever that custom tag is used in the JSP page. That action we need to write it here. Okay, so I want to create one action tag for printing some message. What kind of message I want to print? I want to print one message like, this is my own custom tag. Okay, so here for that, for printing this message on the screen, I need to use JSP writer class. So first of all, I need to get the object of out, and using that object, I am printing the message on the screen. So this message will be printed whenever I call the custom tag in my JSP page. Okay, this is the tag handler class. Save that tag handler class with .java extension. Now second step is we need to create a TLD file. Okay, so all that TLD file content we need to save with some file name .tld extension. So this file should present this compulsory. We should copy this file under your root directory. Inside your root directory, web content and webinf folder. Under webinf folder, directly you have to save this .tld file. Okay. So here, this is the content of content we need to write inside .tld file. So see this .tld file. This is just looking like a XML page. So here tag lib. This is one of the all these tags are predefined tags only. This is tag lib directory. Tag lib tag is used for creating library tag libraries. Okay. Now see, next one. Here I am writing the version of the taglib. I am writing the version of the JSP, what I am using, and short name. Short name means what? A short name of your tag. Okay. Here my tag name is short name of this is just like a title. Okay, is my custom tag and tag. So okay, this tag indicates the tag information. Okay, inside this tag start tag and tag end tag, we need to give information about our own tag. Okay, what is the name of your custom tag? Okay, what is the tag handler class attached to this custom tag? Okay, that information we need to supply it under tag. Okay, so inside this tag, we need to write one name tag. This name tag indicates the name of your custom tag. So here my custom tag name is my message. And for my custom tag, that information is provided in the tag handler class information is available in this package. Sorry, here, this is my package name and here it is not my tag, it is details. Okay, so in my tag handler class, details is the class name. Okay, here we need to supply the detail class name. And body content is empty. So here I am not writing any content for the tag. Okay, just if I use my tag in my JSP page, automatically it will print one message. So what kind of message it will print? Whatever message I have written inside this tag handler class. So it will print this is my own custom tag. That message will be printed on the screen. Okay, this is the second step. Now see the third step. Creating the third step is creating the JSP page where you want to use your custom tag. That JSP page we need to create, right? So here before in that JSP page, we need to include our taglib directory TLD file. Okay, so how to include that TLD file is by using taglib directory. So that taglib directory contains two attributes. One is prefix attribute, second one is URI attribute. So prefix attribute indicates that what prefix you are going to use to your custom tag. And second attribute, URI attribute, indicates that what is the class, where your TLD class is available to your custom tag. That means which TLD file you have attached to your custom tag. That TLD file address we need to supply, right? See here, my tag, my custom tag prefix is my prefix. So with this prefix, I can use my tag in the JSP page. See HTML head title inside the body section. Here I am using my custom tag with the prefix my prefix colon. My tag name is my message, right? So like this you can use it. So here immediately in this custom tag itself, I have specified backslash. What is the meaning of this statement is, for my custom tag, I am not including any body. That is the reason why here itself I am closing this tag. If you see the previous code, so here I have specified body content equal to empty. That indicates that for my tag, whatever tag I am creating, for that tag I am not including any body. If your tag is not having any body, you just close it here itself by using end tag. Okay, so this is the way to create a way to use custom tag in your JSP file. So whenever you use the custom tag like this, it will print the output like this. This is my own custom tag. So where you have written this message you have written in the custom, JSP handler class. So that message will be printed on the screen whenever you use this custom tag in the JSP page. So this is all about creating the custom tags in JSP. Let us see the things again. So if you want to create your own custom tags, we need to do three things. One thing is we need to create the tag handler class. Okay. This tag handler class is useful for specifying what action our custom tag is going to do in the JSP page. That code we need to write it in the handler class. So that handler class is always .java file. Now second one is I need to create the TLD file. So TLD file specifies the information about your tag name and class name of your handler class, and whether you are writing including any body to your tag or not. That entire information will be supplied by using TLD file. Okay, always your .tld file should be saved under this directory only. Now third step is you have to use that custom tag that was created in the previous two steps in the JSP page. So for using that custom tag in the JSP page, we need to use taglib directive. So this taglib directive contains two attributes. One is prefix attribute and second one is URI attribute. So this prefix attribute is used for writing the prefixes of your tag, and URI attribute indicates the URI of your TLD file. Okay, so directly in the body section of your JSP page, you just call your custom tag. Automatically, whatever message you have assigned to that custom tag, that will be printed on the screen. So this is about JSP custom tags. So in this session, we have seen what are the action tags available in JSP and how to create your own action tags by using JSP custom tag library. Okay, hope you people understood how to create the custom tags. So thank you one and all.